Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS as well. Peace and salutation to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of this video is Trump threatens 100% tariffs on BRICS. BRICS is a currency, form, of different countries, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Africa, different things, different people, they have formed this currency. So Trump has threatened, to send tariffs on these people trying to replace the dollar. This is First Thessalonians 5:3. So this is pretty much where we're at in prophecy. First Thessalonians 5:3 says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And I mean, if you really think about that, so much has happened once Donald Trump has become the president-elect. And, he has vowed to do many great things in Babylon the Great, many first-day executive orders to right wrongs, basically, and he's steady trying to do that. But while he's trying to do that, you currently have the current Democratic Party of Biden, and others that are forcing what it seems to be World War III, and basically forcing the hand of Vladimir Putin, right, the president of Russia, against Ukraine, and World War III has been threatened. So anyway, that's another topic for another time. I might get into it a little bit here, but who knows? Anyway, Trump is all about safety. He's trying to issue in safety, and it's hard for him to do that because he's not president right now. So I read that again. First Thessalonians 5:3. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So far we had Russia issue out this new missile that he says is basically is better than a nuclear missile in their opinion, because it strikes target and is not so devastating. And the world is like, whoa, what is that? They're upset about that. So things are escalating. Biden has tried to give, or is trying to give Ukraine nuclear missiles. You have BRICS forming, and more members joining in. So, Trump is trying to fix all of this. So that's his whole MO, peace and safety. And from the sidelines now, that's what he's currently doing. So Trump, from the sidelines of being president-elect at home, posted on one of, I believe it's his account, or his social platform, which is Truth Social. It says Trump threatens 100% tariff on the BRICS bloc of nations if they act to undermine U.S. dollar. So we can look up that word tariff real quick. It's like a tax, 100% tax. It says, what is the simple definition of tariff? A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on goods and services imported from other countries that serve to increase the price and make imports less desirable, or at least less competitive, right? So it's just a tax on their goods, and basically pursuing to scripture, which we'll read. I'll get it right now. The world uses Babylon the Great, for their goods and their services, basically, in trade and things like that. And that's why when ultimately Babylon the Great is destroyed, because this peace and safety won't work, the nations around the world and the ships, the traders are going to be upset, for a period of time, short period of time. It says Revelations 18:9, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." So when Babylon the Great is burning up in flames, the kings around the earth and merchants and things are going to bewail her. Why? It says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." Right? So this is a big thing, the fact that Trump is threatening these nations with tariffs on their goods because they're falling away from the dollar, which we're going to get and have a coup. right? Because we're basically at the end of Esau Edom's kingdom. Revelations 18:11, it says, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore," right? Nations and kings have gotten rich because of Babylon the Great. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels and ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and of iron and marble, right? Because we, the Americans, is buying all of that stuff. People got mansions, people got nice cars, and all these different things. People like the sweet smell of cinnamon and odors and smelling good, all type of things. Revelations 18:3, it says, "And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat." People love food, and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So everything was sold here in Babylon the Great. Therefore, they're going to be punished for it, right? It says, "And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all," right? Babylon the Great will be totally destroyed, and the merchants are going to be upset. Right here in verse 15, it says, "The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and all many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city?" Right? So basically, and that's the point on that part. The nations they're gonna be upset, because this place is gonna be destroyed, but we're gonna be happy. It says, "And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she made desolate." Right. So this is a severe threat that Donald Trump is using against these countries, right, and these nations. And they may know that. It says Trump threatens 100% tariff on the BRICS bloc of nations if they act to undermine U.S. dollar, right? But and that, like I said, that goes into that peace and safety that Trump is trying to issue in. So it says President-elect Donald Trump on Saturday threatened 100% tariff against a bloc of 9 nations if they act to undermine the U.S. dollar. And basically, it's all the nations that joined onto BRICS, because they're forming their own type of currency, right? Their own type of trade, between themselves, right? And they're going to use the BRICS currency to do that. And basically, this is sanctions and tariffs from previous presidents is what caused BRICS to take place for the most part. It made them to pursue something else, which we're going to read down here from CNBS. It says his threat was directed at countries in the so-called BRIC alliance, which consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. We make sure this is still pretty good. Okay, so it's good. It says Turkey, Azerbaijan, which we might grab that too, and Malaysia have applied to become members, and several other countries have expressed interest in joining. Right, so a lot of people around the world are, trying to join this BRICS thing, and basically it goes deeper deeper than that, because shameful spewing is on Babylon the Great regarding their moral conduct around the world and how they're treating one people compared to the next people, showing favoritism and different things like that. So the nations are tired and upset about that. Right, that goes into the uproar of the people. It says, while the U.S. dollar is by far the most used currency in global business and has survived past challenges to its preeminent members of the alliance and other developing nations say they are fed up with America's dominance of the global financial system. And that's going to go into the Habakkuk, which we'll get. It says the dollar represents roughly 58% of the world's foreign exchange reserves, according to the IMF, in major commodities like oil, are still primarily bought and sold using dollars. The dollar's dominance is threatened, however, with BRICS' growing share of GDP and the alliance's intent to trade in non-dollar currencies, a process known as de-dollarization. So this is something that they're trying to do, and this is from these people here at CNBS. It says Trump, in a Truth Social post, said we require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency. So what Babylon the Great is trying to save themselves, but there's no healing for Babylon. I'll grab that real quick. Let me grab this. Jeremiah 51. It says, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Bashmiawashai's right hand. Sorry. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Bashmiawashai's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right. So as you can see, a part of this sanctions and tariffs and things like that is pretty much what caused BRICS to form, and now all nations are flocking to it, right? Ultimately, this is the trouble taking hold of them on every side, because it originally started with, America trying to use Ukraine to squash out Russia and causing the EU to put sanctions on Russia and things like that. But now trouble is upon them because the EU, the sanctions are affecting them. Right, and these are things that you look up for yourself. These are actual events taking place in the world currently, which is leading to the end of the world, right? Because what's happening now, or what's brewing now, is war, and that will be World War III because of the great powers that are going to be taking place in this war. So it says, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's Yahweh Bashmiawashai's hand and made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore nations are mad, right? And that goes to her policy and things like that. Even the fact that, they signed a 50-year agreement deal with Saudi Arabia, the OPEC, countries over there regarding the oil trade, and it, being used like through the dollar, which agreement has ended with no sign of renewal. And Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arab Emirates have looked towards BRICS now. It says Babylon has suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right? So, no, that's the point. Basically, Trump is trying to heal what can't be healed. He's trying to bring in that peace and safety, but that sudden destruction is taking hold of them. These countries and these people are shifting away from Babylon the Great, shifting away from the dollar, right? And that's pretty much what's happening. It says, Trump, in a Truth Social post, said we require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. At a summit of BRICS, so this is what Donald Trump said right here, right? It says, at a summit of BRICS nation in October, Russian President Vladimir Putin accused the US of weaponizing the dollar and described it as a big mistake. And that goes into what I said, them putting tariffs, on, or sanctions on, Russia because of the war. And of course they did to other people. They're trying to put sanctions and things on China, or tariffs on China. They basically it's basically what this President Vladimir Putin is saying. He's saying they're weaponizing the dollar because the dollar has the dominance in the world. And they're saying, well, if you're not gonna obey what we want you to do, right? This is Esau Edom puffing at his enemies, and puffing at the nations around him, and bullying them, which we're gonna get into Habakkuk. They're saying, well, we're gonna sanction you, or we're gonna put tariffs on you, and therefore, kind of the world revolves around the dollar. You will be kind of left out. So at a summit of BRICS nation in October, so this is all things leading to the downfall of America, right? Because these different sanctions and things are not only affecting America's enemies, is affecting their allies also, and they seem to not care about that. It says at a summit, and the nations are seeing that, right, and they're doing things to help themselves, like getting in bed with BRICS and seeing what's up with the BRICS nations. At a summit of BRICS nation in October, Russian President Vladimir Putin accused the U.S. of weaponizing the dollar and described it as a big mistake. It's not us who refuse to use the dollar, Putin said at the time, but if they don't let us work, what can we do? We are forced to search for alternatives, right? So basically, Babylon the Great has boxed many nations into a corner, so to speak, so they think. And, it made these different nations to find avenues out of that corner, somewhere else. And now that's leading to the downfall of the US dollar and the end of USA, basically. It says Russia has specifically pushed for the creation of a new payment system that will offer an alternative to the global bank messaging network. So now, Donald Trump is saying, don't do that, right? We're going to sanction you and bully you and tell you what to do, but don't make your own dollar. Don't make your own currency. It says Russia has specifically pushed for the creation of a new payment system that would offer an alternative to the global bank messaging network, SWIFT, and allow Moscow to dodge Western sanctions and trade with partners. Trump said there is no chance BRICS will replace the US dollar in global trade, and any country that tries to make that happen should wave goodbye to America. And I pointed out in Revelations here, 18, that this is bad because the nations do make a lot of money off America. It says research shows that the US dollar's role as the primary gold reserve currency is not threatened in the near future. So there you go. I mean, that's the point. It's really nothing else much there, right? So this goes into the weak saying I am strong. Also, grab that real quick. These nations are no longer caring, Now just grab that point, because this goes into war, but this also goes into preparing yourself for war, strengthening your ties, having good trade amongst yourself, whether you're trading food or you're trading weapons, right? So Joel 3:10, it says, beat your Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's exactly what's happening. Ties are being strengthened throughout the world. America is getting close with Israel, and the rest of the world are getting close with themselves. Joel 3:10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And the weak will be these other nations that America has bullied for so long, since they've been established up until now. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O power. O Yahweh Bashmi Shai. So, that's the point. The heathen are, preparing themselves, strengthening themselves, saying that we are strong together, forming BRICS, coming against the dollar. So that's the point with that. Let's grab Habakkuk. So we'll grab some of this, or we just start at 4, start at 3. It says, Habakkuk 2:3, for the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith, right? And we're seeing here in these last days that the vision, is approaching, right? Is here. World War III is at the door. Everything has been aligned. And pretty soon, they will have to issue out this MOTB and Jacob Trouble. Jacob Trouble, MOTB, all these things are right at the door. Because, the world can see that things are happening. Esau, Edom know that he have but a short time. That's Revelation 12:12, right? So these are the many troubles that are taking hold of him, right? And that's why Trump now, like I said, from the sidelines, is trying to heal Babylon and bring that peace and safety to Babylon, but it can't be done. It says, Habakkuk 2:4, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, right? That's that wine, right? And that goes into Isaiah 10. He transgressed by wine. It says Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And we're probably, like I said, we'll probably grab some of that because I got something else that I want to go into. I didn't know if I want to make it like a separate video, but we'll see. It says, so yeah, he transgresses by wine, which is his policies, right? He write these different many policies around the world, and therefore the world is mad, and upset and angry at these policies, and you can see that in happen in the world now. The world is asking America, like, why are you doing this? Why is your work cabinet or your cabinet of people look the way they look? Habakkuk 2:5, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Now that keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laid himself with thick clay, right, which is that debt. And, that's going to the fact that these people are forming BRICS, right? They're upset about America using their dollar for weaponization, right? And to, throw sanctions and tariffs all over the place, right? So they're trying to find a way out of that, right? They're trying to escape it now. The weak are saying they are strong. This thick clay is debt. It goes into the debt of Babylon the Great. I seen the article, I don't know when I seen it, but it was saying that America has, that debt is not going to be paid off, right? It's not going to be paid off. Habakkuk 2:7, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and await that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, right? So ultimately, they're going to go to war. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of, let me get this in the NLT too. It says, suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. This is exactly what these nations are going to do. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein. Let me get this in the NLT too. It says, because you have plundered many nations, now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murders throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. Right, and this is Babylon the Great. They went out around the world with the sword, taking our resources, destroying economies, right? And they do that too through their sanctions and their tariffs, right? That's why. Let me grab. I was gonna. Yeah. Psalms 10:5. I was just over there. Well, no, it wasn't. All right, Psalms 10:5. Psalms 10:5 says, his ways are always grievous, right? This is talking about the wicked. Esau, Job 9:24 says the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, right? Psalms 10:5, his ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them, right? Basically being prideful towards them, not caring, he moves about, basically like that. I was in it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the walls, and the beams of the timber shall answer it, right? Basically, the establishment, right? The earth was going to cry out because of the wickedness of this individual. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city with iniquity. So get to the point, jump down, Habakkuk 2:15 says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth diabolic to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let the foreskin be uncovered, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, the cup of the Lord's Yahweh Bashmi Shai right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful things shall be on thy glory. Right, and that's exactly why these nations are turning on Babylon the Great. So Lord willing, you were edified from this video. With that, I'll say Shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.